A comprehensive study of mule deer has begun in western Wyoming, with researchers wanting to know why the Wyoming range mule deer herd, one of the premier mule deer herds in the world, has struggled to reach population goals. The 3-year study is part of the Wyoming Mule Deer Initiative, a joint effort between the Wyoming Game and Fish Department and the public to address declining mule deer numbers. The Game and Fish and University of Wyoming's Cooperative Fish and Wildlife Research Unit, with funding from a range of government and conservation groups, are contributing over $500,000 to examine everything from habitat of summer and winter ranges of the deer to the animal's overall body condition. Game and Fish biologist Gary Freilich.
We're going to learn a lot about the movements and annual migration cycle from winter ranges in places like LaBarge and around Kemmer and Evanston, and when those migrations are initiated each fall and each spring. We're also going to learn the general health and vigor of the population. The 70 deer that we're in the process of radio collaring, all does, 35 on the LaBarge winter ranges and 35 in Kemmer and Evanston, will provide a great historical background on the age classes of the does, but also their general physical condition. And that physical condition is what we want to know the most about.
Ultrasound measurements determine body fat of deer coming out of this winter and fetal rates, or how many fetuses each doe is carrying. Body measurements will be compared to other mule deer populations in Wyoming and the Intermountain West to see if they fall within the general health of mule deer. Blood samples check for disease, and tooth extraction determines age of the deer. Age, along with pregnancy rates, were identified by hunters as vital information to understand how old and productive this deer herd is.
The magnitude of this Wyoming Range Mule Deer Research Project and its importance to hunters and people who come to the Wyoming Range to photograph deer to learn more about them is that now the Game and Fish Department will be able to better understand what are the limiting factors. And that's been the central idea on what we've had major questions about for at least the last 20 years, on what are the limiting factors of the Wyoming Range deer herd. Why has this population been unable to achieve its population objective over the last 21 years? And what are those factors that might be suppressing it, and how can we address those factors?
This scale of a project has never been tried in the Wyoming Range. The hope is to gain a better understanding of the deer's migration patterns, how they interact with their habitat, and their biological capability on the landscape. This is Ray Hageman with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department.